Started. Does anybody want to make a motion to waive the minutes? Okay.
Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion to go out order for the public comments.
Anybody want to second that motion? Second. Okay. If anybody wants to get up to the podium and speak, you have 4 minutes. State your name and address.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Rodriguez, and I'm the site coordinator for the Chelsea Reach program at the Chelsea High School. And I have a lot of great people with me.
Hi, everyone. My name is Janaris Collado, and I am the Literacy Through Hip Hop instructor for the Chelsea Reach program. And I'm a part of a program called the Andover Bread Loaf up at Phillips Academy. Literacy, Andover Bread Loaf is a literacy program based at Phillips Academy, Andover, and serving Lawrence students. We have sites in Atlanta, Georgia, both North and South Carolina, Baton Rouge, and New York City. Our goals are at ABL to empower students all over the world with tools of literacy and finding their voices. On May 18th, the International Community High School in the Bronx, New York, will be hosting their annual Andover Bread Loaf Writing Conference titled Write the Power, Activism Through Art and Literacy. In this conference, students will be a part of multiple workshops around the topics of activism, especially when advocating for their education and community. Because of the impressions we've made, student leading music, drama workshops, writing workshops at the Lawrence Boys and Girls Club for the Andover Bread Loaf, the Chelsea Reach program has been invited to participate at the Andover Bread Loaf New York City Spring Writers Conference this May. So we hope to bring back, thank you. We are hoping to bring back all that we learn and host our very own workshop for the REACH program, where we'll be able to practice what we learned in New York on how to advocate for our personal activism. So some of the students here will be participating, hopefully, at the conference. So they're just gonna come up and tell you guys, well, you wanna speak first? They're gonna come up and talk to you guys about why they really wanna do this.
So I'm Rosa Brito. I live in 102 Marlborough Street in Chelsea, Massachusetts. So the conference on May 18, I'm not able to make it, which I'm really sad because it is prom day for Chelsea High School. But I wish I could go because it'll be a new experience and meeting new people, like the people from Bread Loaf. Yeah, Andover Bread Loaf is really awesome because I went for one of their conferences and I got to meet many new people and have a voice and express myself and express like being from Chelsea. So that was a cool part about their program that they do.
My name is Alice Robertus. I live on 270 Chestnut Street. And I want to go to this opportunity because I started in REACH this year. And me starting this year, it's really changed for me because they haven't only just been an after-school program. They've been like a second home to me. And they've been very like open and honest and very welcoming. And just mostly Stephanie Janaris, they've been like role models to me. So, and this trip would, I know, would bring us all together and closer.
Are you gonna cry?
Hi, everybody. My name is Christopher Mena, and I live 113 Spencer Avenue, apartment 302. I've been a part of the REACH program for about 2 years, and I've been working as a student worker, like an assistant for Stephanie Engineers, whatever they need me to do, for about a month or two. And I would love to go to this conference because there's so many different communities, so many different backgrounds, people that have been through it all. And hopefully, from what I learned from going to this conference, I could bring and we could actually tell the other students at Reach who aren't able to make it what we learned and how to make Reach better, how to make them better, how to change their attitudes, and just overall make the Reach program better. So, thank you.
Hi, my name is Colin Murray. I'm a student at Boston University, as well as a group leader for the REACH program. Sorry.
You got to give your address.
Oh, I'm not a Chelsea resident. I work
You
for
still have to give your address.
Okay, 844 Beacon Street, Boston. So for me, I personally will not be able to attend this event. Unfortunately, I'll be graduating that day. But at this opportunity, when I found out I was graduating that day, I was actually kind of disappointed because I really wanted to go to this event to not only give my students the opportunity to be a part of this, but see them shine and see them achieve. Because I know that we have some brilliant minds in our program, writers, artists, everything you could think of, and I'm excited to see what they bring back and what they offer, and to not only Chelsea, but to the whole world, or the country, that is, that's going to be at this conference.
Hi, I'm Denilson Ribeiro. I live in 105 Marlborough Street, and I started REACH in 7th grade, and I'm about to graduate this year. And through the bread loaf thing, I got to show my talents. Like, I make music, and that was like one of the first times where like I got to like showcase like my talents to a new group of people. And I think it would be, and I can't go to the place in New York because I have prom too. But I think it would be a great spot for the younger kids to like showcase their talents, and like they could write their poetry, their music, so everybody else can see. Thank you.
And that's it for us. And my address is 184 Chester Ave. I think I was so excited. I'm like, I have a bunch of great people, but I live in Chelsea, Mass. Thank you.
My address is 69 Lynn Street in Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Thank you.
Can I just want to say, Stephanie, you and your students are absolutely wonderful. And if you stick around to the end of the meeting, it is on the vote for the school committee to vote on at the very last action item. So,
Ms. Tom Ambrosino. I live at 29 Castle Road in Nahant. I'm the city manager here in Chelsea, and I just wanted to speak for about 2 minutes on the budget that I know you're deliberating on tonight. I'm very cognizant that this is out of my purview, but I've spent a lot of time with the superintendent in trying to provide sufficient city support for this budget. And so I want to just make 2 important points. One, I know there are some who think the city should do more. All I can tell you is we've really tried to do our fair share, and I think the city council has done more than its fair share over the past few years to support the school department with city funds. So it wasn't too long ago that the school department was under net school spending. And in the last few years, we've really tried to reverse that. And at this point, you're about 5% over net school spending with the contribution the city is committed to make this year of an additional $1.5 million. Now, I know there are some who say the city should do more than $1.5 million, but that's a significant investment by the city to the school department this year. And I can tell you that it's everything I can raise in Proposition 2.5. We raise for the whole city every year, the amount we can raise under Proposition 2.5 in new tax dollars is $1.4 million. We're committing to the school department at FY20 $1.5 million, which means that every new tax dollar that I can raise in FY20 is going to the school department. That's leaving me in a lot of difficulty on the city side, but we recognize the constraints the school department is under and are trying to do our best to help you. The problem is not the city. The problem here is the state. The state is not doing its fair share to fund Chelsea, nor to fund other urban communities. And it's to the state that we really need to look to advocate for more funding. It's the state's Chapter 70 formula that's broken, and that's what's left the school department in this predicament that even though the city is giving you every tax dollar it has to spare in FY20 and giving you another $1.5 million, you're still in this predicament of having a $2 million shortfall. I can tell you, I've been working with the superintendent on this because we've been trying to help. The budget she's presented is a fair and reasonable attempt to cover that shortfall. I can assure you, no one relishes having to reduce teacher component in any kind of school. But when you're faced with that kind of shortfall, and when you have schools that have declining enrollment, reducing the number of teachers is a reasonable way to try to deal with the shortfall. And so all I can say is I think the attempt to deal with the shortfall on the superintendent's part has been fair. It's been reasonable. I know how much she struggled with it because I've been in meetings with her trying to figure out, is there some way the city can help? And we did add a little bit more money to get to that $1.5 million number. I'm telling you, I think this is a good budget. I'm going to present this number, this $95.5 million budget, to the City Council, recommend its approval. I would just recommend that or urge that you approve this budget. And then, once it's approved, we can all turn our attention to the real problem, which is trying to advocate for the state to fix the Chapter 70 formula. Actually, the good news is there does seem to be momentum up there. I just met yesterday with the Speaker and with the Senate President. Both seem to indicate there is going to be some compromise that will work. And if that is the case, and we need to continue to advocate, it's quite likely that money will be available to Chelsea, and there'll be an ability to come back to the school committee in August or late summer and restore whatever cuts you have to be made tonight. So with that said, I would just urge you to pass the budget, and I can assure you I will be recommending this budget to the City Council and doing my very best to ensure that the Council approves it.
Tom, I just want to ask one question. Could you explain to the school committee and to the people in the audience, if the budget is not passed, what happens?
If the budget is not passed, I will still recommend to the City Council the total budget number of $95.5 million. That will be the budget I submit on behalf of the school department to that'll be the budget number I submit on behalf of the school department to the City Council, and I will advocate for it to be approved. It will then remain up to the school committee to decide how to allocate that $95.5 million. But the total budget that's before you tonight, regardless of what you do, that is in fact the number that I will be presenting to the City Council for approval, because it's the number that I want to support as the city manager.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Lex Matthews, excuse me, principal of Chelsea High School, resident of Newton, 42 Chesley Road. I'm just here with very brief comments. Number one, I want to say that it takes all of us, and we've heard a number of comments at these meetings that have really brought us together, and I really appreciated the people that made them. It's been a wonderful community. I've only been at the high school as my first year. It's been terrific to be here, and I really appreciate that sense of unity, of purpose that I sense in the Chelsea Public Schools, from our students, from our families, and from our staff. I want to say that in a school, there are critical elements, and that they're all critical. I don't want to single anyone out as not being critical, whether that's the custodial team, the culinary team, the security team, the teacher team, the administrative team, the students, the families. There is no element to me at the high school that is not critically important. And I may have missed some groups there too. What's proposed in the budget is a 12.5% administrative cut. That's a difficult blow to our school, but I certainly would never want to see an additional administrative cut. That would be extremely difficult, especially as a first-year principal there. I wanted to conclude just by trying to recognize our shared values and our commitment to the young people of Chelsea. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Joval. I live at 141 Orange Street. Thank you once again for giving students an opportunity to voice their opinions. We recognize that the budget will most likely be passed today, but we think that there are some adjustments that need to be made in order for this situation to be avoided next year. It would be ideal to have information about the budget out sooner so that we can all work together to come to an agreement, because at the end of the day, it's our future, the student body, who you are defining. There needs to be more transparency and more communication between members of the board and the student council. The cuts that are being made this year were very difficult for everyone to process, both board, staff, students, everybody. And if we could avoid the situation next year, all the tension, it would help everyone from staff to students feel more supported. We appreciate having our voices heard as a result of our advocacy, especially regarding the French program, and we hope that you take this into account.
Good evening, everyone, the school board. My name's Ron Schmidt. I live at 42 Orchard Drive in Stowe, Massachusetts, and I am the principal of Chelsea Opportunity Academy. I'm here to hopefully clear up some what I believe are misconceptions about Chelsea Opportunity Academy, both who the students are and how the school is funded. Currently, we have 60 students enrolled, of which more than half have either been dropouts, who were dropouts, or have came from Excel or Phoenix Academy. That's 30 students who would not be in school in Chelsea Public Schools if it wasn't for the academy. The other 30 share the following characteristics. They have at least repeated one full year. They are well over a year behind and at risk of dropout. They averaged between 30 and 80 absences when they were at Chelsea High School in one school year. 90% of them have full-time or part-time jobs. 10 have children under 2 years old. They are coming to school and working towards a diploma now. As was mentioned last week, we did receive a BAR grant, of which supported our first 3 years in a decreasing level. But at our capacity, our per pupil, our capacity at 200, our per pupil allotment approaches 2.6, 2.7 million. And again, these are students who are really on their way. Those who come from Chelsea High School are at high risk of dropout because of all those conditions I just met. Those are the students who are coming from Chelsea High School. And again, at this point, 50% of our students we picked up as dropouts from from Excel Academy and from Phoenix Academy. I urge you to continue to support this program, because what I didn't mention is we're talking about lives and diplomas for young people who had given up, and that's priceless. And I believe that we are serving this community and the Chelsea youth in ways that these are students who we've let slip through the cracks before. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Stephanie Simon. I live at 63 Clark Ave, and I'm a student athlete at Chelsea High School. I just wanted to say I cannot stress how important it is to communicate with both students and parents, because I feel like what we can learn from this entire process, from the different perspectives that we've heard from all these meetings leading up to today, that communication with students, the people who are affected by this entire process, by what's about to happen today, they should be involved. They should be communicated with.
And I cannot stress how throughout this entire thing, students weren't even paid attention to. They were never mentioned. We talk about teachers this, teachers that, or we talk about dropout rates, which is great. I like hearing that we care about getting people's education, dropouts, getting them their diplomas, which is great, but we don't talk about how students who are currently at Chelsea High are being affected by all these decisions, and I need you to communicate with students at Chelsea High, at the middle school, at the elementary school, and parents, because I can guarantee that there's not a single parent that knows what's going on in this room today or the meetings that were prior to this. That's all I wanted to say.
Is there anybody else that'd like to speak? Okay, public speaking is closed. Okay, I'm going to turn over to Dr. Bork for presentations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and school committee members. I am going to do a brief presentation. Some of it is redundant to what I presented last Wednesday night. But last Wednesday night, we were not on cable TV for the community, so I want to make sure that some of those messages are out for the community as part of that messaging that we want to continue to get out there. And I've also, there are a couple of new slides just to give you and to last-minute thinking tools as you approach the final vote. So before we get started, and Monica Limboy, our Executive Director of Administration Finance, will be helping me. A few comments. The facts are, we are underfunded by the state. This year alone, we are underfunded by $17 million. $17 million, and that's just in special education and in health benefits for our staff. Complicating all of this for us is a dramatic decrease in enrollment. This week alone, I signed off on 3 waivers for students who are now living in Revere, and I said that it was okay for them to stay through June 30th. Revere has cheaper rents than Chelsea. And the other thing that I want to keep coming back to, we agreed, it's in our norms, we put the needs, it's in our mission statement, the needs of all students first. So that's not just the early childhood students, it's not just the elementary, it's not just the middle, and it's not just the high school students, it's all students. The resources have to be spread for all students. It's like myself as a mother. My 4 kids would say, well, which one do you love better or love most? You don't. You spread the resources where the need is. School budgets. School budgets are based on student enrollment. Student enrollment goes up, we get more money. Student enrollment goes down, we get less money. We listened and we reconsidered some of the cuts. The process is very short because we don't get our numbers from the governor till the 3rd week in January, and we start right then. We added back the French teachers, we added back the ELL teacher at the middle school. However, we can't add back everything that has been asked for, or we won't be meeting the balanced budget and the need to cut 1.9. The cuts are distributed across many areas so that we have minimized the impact on our students and our staff. But different this year than other years when we had to cut. If you notice later on in the presentation, we don't have class sizes over 30, except in the Unified Arts in the middle school, which we are going to address through some staffing changes. We have no classes over 30. In my history here, that has not happened. The cuts, somehow through the budget process, I have felt that there's this message where we're conflating together that if a program is cut, if a paraprofessional position is cut, position, not person, position, if a teaching position is cut, if an administrative position is cut, that we were not valuing that person and that position. That couldn't be farther from the truth. We are cutting the positions to balance the budget. We have to. Students direct the revenue. Students direct the need. We try very hard to absorb these positions, these staff members into other positions, if we are able to. It's out of necessity that we make the cuts. I can only promise you that I will continue to give you, us, all of my energy and work to fix the foundation formula. I was at the State House for a 3-hour meeting on Tuesday. Again, problem solving. The goal is that this year, the time is now for the fix. This year, we fix it so that we are not here next year. So with that, I'd like to go through some of the budget slides.
I'm going to ask you, how long is this going to take?
Probably 15 minutes.
The only reason why I say that because the school committee have seen this budget numerous times. So I'll give you the 15 minutes. So after that, I'm going to move on with the school committee meeting. Sure.
Dr. Burke said because the community hasn't seen it, that's why she's presenting it. And a big deal lately is transparency, so I think we should give them the time to show the budget for the people watching at home, get the opportunity to watch it.
Well, I'm going to answer that because we have the budget on the Williams School. We've had the budget up here twice. All right. So how many times do you want the budget to be shown?
As many as it takes, as we had that
No,
student
it's
come
not-
up
it's
and
not as many
say
as it
that
takes.
we're not, we just had a student say we're not communicating.
Well,
So
I'm going to give you
with
15 minutes. Go
comment.
ahead. You can-
Monica, thank you. So we developed the budget based on all the needs of our students. We have a $1.9 million gap. It's painful, it's emotional, but I am a superintendent. I have to be objective, and I have to balance a budget. We need to put personal relationships aside and look objectively at the needs of our students district-wide. At the subcommittee of the whole, I addressed some of the concerns over the last few weeks. I'm going to touch upon them in this slide presentation, the highlighted ones. If you want the full presentation of the subcommittee of the whole, there is a printout on the table. Again, there's a difference between a position cut and a staff person losing their job. We have retirements, non-renewals, terminations, resignations, teachers leaving on their own due to a new job, move back to another state, or leaving to return to school for their master's degree or doctorate. Just yesterday, we had a resignation from one of our middle school teachers, which I will not announce because that person wants to tell their team tomorrow themselves. Student enrollment has dipped. We are down to 6,087 as of this slide being taken. We haven't had this low of an enrollment in our school system since 2010. Middle school's concerns.
As you can see in the blue above, these are the concerns that were voiced during comments by the public during previous meetings. One of which is that we will not be able to serve the needs of our ELL students at the middle school if we reduce the staffing to that program. As you can see in the chart above, these are projections for how many students will be in that program next year. It is split between 2 schools, so the class sizes will be about 13 to 14 each starting the year, and we understand that some new kids could come, but there's still a lot of room there for that, and we are very confident that we can provide the service requirements for our ELL students with this staffing.
If we put back the 2 ELL teachers, then the class size goes to 6 or 7 for a teacher.
Similarly, we have heard that the changing to the program year after year is very stressful on teachers and not great for students, and we understand the concern. However, I do want to just mention that the ELL population in our city has grown and shrunk and grown and shrunk, and we have to adapt in order to put resources in other places that are needed. One of the changes was due to the opening of the new Clark Avenue, and the program got divided between, and then also we've been supporting with co-teaching that we can no longer sustain. And finally, we will be adding a Spanish component to the middle school for 2 or 3 reasons. One is just to continue the vertical alignment of the dual language proficiency of kids throughout our program. It's also extremely competitive. Parents really want it, and we're trying to keep our students from exiting the city. Finally, we need that other specialist in the middle school, as Dr. Bork mentioned, in order to provide specialists and preps for teachers.
Chelsea High School concerns, I'll say it again, that students direct the revenue. And so certainly the dramatic decline at Chelsea High School is impacting the ability to keep all of the staff as it is, as we have it now. Go ahead, Monica. We also heard Chelsea High School teachers are very important to us. Actually, you can go to the next slide, Monica. Again, now this is Chelsea High School decline in enrollment, and this, again, this decline has not been since 2011. The school experienced 43 student decline in the past 6 months. Again, it's the January 2018 to January 2019, and it's a loss of 217 students. So what does that mean in the classroom? We have classroom sizes in algebra. We have a class of 11 students, 12 students, 13, 14, 10, 14, 14, 12, 21, 16, 13. On the left, you have the enrollment as it stands now in the classes. English Language Arts, 18.5, Foreign Language, 18.1, etc. If you go over to the right, with the cuts that we are proposing, English Language Arts will increase. It will go up to 20.8 students. Foreign Language, 18.1 students. History, 20.7. Again, these are ideal numbers. These are not burdensome. Class sizes compared at the middle and elementary schools, take a look. They are larger, 24.8, 24.8, the largest being the 5th grade. There are some classes with 31 students, but the other class has 27, for example. Again, these classes a year ago were at 30 or more. So we are seeing the decline in enrollment in the younger grades, but at a slower rate. It's still happening, but at a slower rate compared to Chelsea High. Go ahead. Oh, the specialists, sorry, yes. The specialists are over 30, and that's why we're addressing the specialists. The budget cuts for 4 years is scary. I've had 3 different guidance counselors for 4 years. You have to keep it open meeting law. Literally, the door has to be open. Thanks. Thank you. This is not due to budget cuts. This was because we reorganized, then we reorganized again, and then we went back to the original organization. Go ahead. The library position, yes, it was cut and then it was reinstated. Library was cut 2 years ago at the elementary. We did put a 0.3 there, 0.7 for Chelsea High. The fact that it is not filled right now is not due to a budget cut. It is due to the fact that we have not had candidates. Why aren't you reducing more Chelsea High School administrators? The proposed budget reduces 1 administrator already, brings the total at Chelsea High School back to the level in place in the 2013-2014 year. We are choosing to maintain the current level of instructional coaches, deans, social workers, and school counselors compared to that. We are not even touching them. But as you heard Mr. Matthews say, we need to be able to make sure that we're providing him with the support he needs to run that school. Chelsea Opportunity Academy. There is a very strong misunderstanding of Chelsea Opportunity Academy. Chelsea Opportunity Academy actually brings money into the school district. So next year they will go to 100 students at $13,888 per student. That means that that school is worth $1,388,000, etc. dollars. At the same time, that school is only costing us to run $759,890. Mr. Schmidt, block your ears. We are making a profit off of the Chelsea Opportunity Academy, and we're saving lives at the same time. So this is where we want to go. The other point I want to reemphasize is that DESE holds us accountable for making sure we're meeting the needs of our students where they are, and we're getting them to graduation and success later on. This is helping us to bring dropout students back. It's also helping us to increase our graduation rate. So we're doing what we're supposed to be doing in terms of a school committee, a school organization, valuing all students, including the students who struggle to make the goals. District-wide questions. City funding. This is what the city, the spending, they have been generous. It is a 5% over net school spending, which is something that we have not had in many years, and we have had it the last few years. But certainly, there's never enough money, but we also need to make sure we're being thankful for the money that we are receiving. Go ahead, Monica. And this is just a pie graph taking a look at where the city of Chelsea is. The largest piece of it, and Monica calls it the Pac-Man, is labor. It's the cost of labor and the benefits, the health care benefits. That is why we are $17 million underfunded. Go ahead. District leadership, how many superintendents do we have? Like 5? No, you have one superintendent, you have one deputy superintendent who serves as the HR director right now, so we did not fill the HR director job at this time, and you have 2 assistant superintendents, which is normal. Also, I talked about the fact that who speaks for central office and everything that we go through and do. You have district administration, look at the data. Central office actually over 1,150 employees, including part-time and hourly, are processed, 550 hires, departures, and 150 leave requests, FMLA per year, 2,000 requisitions and 5,000 invoices processed per year, approximately $9.4 million in grant revenue. That is going to grow, by the way, because the state, even if they fix the foundation formula, they are holding a lot of money hostage, I would say, by doing grants. So the grants that you've been reading and we've all complained about because we have so many this year, they're actually going to be more in the next 2 years. So central office will be extremely busy competing for money that will help close gaps for us. This, as of January 1st, I retired December 31st. This is the organizational chart. Superintendent, executive director of administration and finance, 2 assistant superintendents. That's it. Once the transition and succession planning is done, that's what will be there. And then you have the other 2 on the other side, the school principals and the 5 DP administrators, et cetera. But central office is just those big 3. Go ahead. Other options, we were asked what other buckets did we consider. 74% of the budget is labor. We also cut $100,000 from the Chelsea High School budget. Succession planning and holding account, that's reduced because that was a one-time, one-year piece for last year. It was $78,000. Facilities, we're taking $150,000. If we get money this year from the foundation, we have to prioritize putting money back in facilities. And I will also say the other places I will be advocating for is special education at ELC and special education at the Clark and the Brown. This is the final list of the budget summary. We are available. You can make an appointment with us if you want to have further discussions on these moves in terms of the various positions. The bottom line is that the revenue follows the students. I have not as much need at Chelsea High School this year as I have had in previous years. I do have more need right now at the ELC for another social communications class. We got the call yesterday from our director of special ed that in our budget plan, we planned on opening another social communications class in January, and the numbers are already up there. We're going to have to open in September. So these are real. You have to take the money somewhere to then make sure that you're opening up a class 6 months earlier. That's it. That's it. 15 minutes, less. Name that tune.
Thank you. Okay. Sure.
Time to come here tonight and listen once again to the proposal that has been prepared by Mary, by Monica.
I don't mean to cut you. Are you going to comment on the budget?
Yes.
I'm going to give people time right
Okay.
before, so you get
Thank
your
you.
chance, okay?
I understand. So just wanted to say thank you for making us in compliance, and all of us here as a school committee. We have a duty that when they elected us, we have to, if we have to present this 2, 3, 4, 5 times, we must. And because it's an open rule, it's something that it must be for the community. Thank you for the students for bringing up, your concerns, and also for the efforts that everybody is making on these bad moments that we have right now. So that's all I wanted to say, that, that we are grateful that you came here. Instead of being in the house, that you are here with us tonight, listening once again to what we're struggling with. That is something that the state has to put attention to and that we can all advocate. Thank you.
Okay, next we have the superintendent of schools report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to call Assistant Superintendent Sarah Kent forward for the indicators of success for this month.
Good evening. I believe you have a copy of the indicators of success in front of you. Tonight is a little bit different than usual in that it is not April yet and we're reporting on March. So the data that's in this packet here is from as of March 26th, last Friday, just for attendance and everything. We also do not yet have third quarter grades as the quarter closes tomorrow. So when I report to you at our next meeting, I will have those for you. So tonight it's going to be quick. We just have our monthly indicators and our mobility. So if you could please start on page 3, we can look at our attendance with our goal of 95%. Right now, grades 3, 4, 5, and 7 are on target and are over our target. Grades 1, 2, and 6 are very close. And K, pre-K, and 9 through 12, we are continuing to work to meet that goal. We are currently, as a district, at 92.8%. If you could turn to page 6. This is indicator 8 is our dropout rate. As you can see, we only had 6 students drop out in March, which is wonderful, and we are 23 students ahead of where we were last year. We are also almost 1% lower dropout rate than last year at this time. If you'd like the details of where those 6 students are from, it's on page 7. You can also see it in the chart in the bottom of page 6. You will see that we are still struggling with our ELL students and our dual identified students of L and students with disabilities. But as you can see on page 7, the spread between different grade levels was pretty equal. If you can turn to page 9, this is our mobility rate. You will see that overall, which is in the little footnote under the first table, right now our mobility rate sits at 18.69%. I only bring that up because last year we were at about 16.9. So we actually are quite a bit ahead of where we were last year as far as mobility rate, and we have had 1,144 kids either come or go. Any questions? Yeah?
Could you go back to page 3?
Sure.
For me. And under Chelsea High School, grade 12, would the Chelsea Opportunity Academy's attendance be in this rate?
Right? Yes. As all grade levels here, it's across schools. So for example, grade 1 includes all 4 elementary schools and the ELC because there are grade 1 students in all 5 of those buildings. Similarly, the attendance rates for Chelsea Opportunity Academy and the high school are combined in these grade level totals.
Okay, so they're taking attendance at the academy
Absolutely.
daily, right?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I commend to the record enclosure B, which is the personnel report. We have 5 new hires, 6 resignations, retirements, terminations, 1 leave, and 1 promotion transfer. I am also commending to the report enclosure C, which is our enrollment report. We have in district 6,094 students this month. We have 184 outplaced students for a total enrollment of 6,278. Mr. Chairman, there are also communications. I've given you Aramark's the month of January and February to keep you apprised of the wonderful work that Aramark is doing, as well as a copy of the Suffolk University scholarship program, which was dedicated years ago to Private Sheldon R. Cohen. It's an endowed scholarship fund, and we have students from Chelsea High School who earn this scholarship to Tufts University every single year. And when you go in there, you'll see, I think it's the third from the last page, we have from Chelsea, two of our students, Stephanie Villatoro, and she's the class of 22, and we have Brandy Rodriguez, the class of 2019, so she's graduating this May. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next, we have the, can I have a motion, would someone like to make a motion to waive the curriculum, instructional, and subcommittee of the whole? I'll make that motion. Anybody want a second? Second. Okay. Next on the agenda, student representative, Manuel, you want to say anything?
I want to say that as the city manager has concluded today that $95 million will be the final budget that he will advocate for to the city council. I want to say thank you, not because the budget will be approved regardless of the decision that will be made here today, but I want to say thank you because I know that you have worked together in order to make the changes, as many as were possible, and it's really depressing that even though like we worked as hard as we could, we still couldn't change much. But there were some changes, and I'd like to say thank you for the French department that was kept. I understand that this is a money issue, and I also understand that this is outside of the control of the school board, and I do not want any of you to be thinking that you are guilty of this. I want you to feel passionate about advocating for Chelsea and talking to their representatives at the state level. Actually, me and Sarah and I, we're going to go to, on April 5th, to the Student Government Day. We're going to go to the State House, and we're going to take the advantage of the opportunity to also talk to state representatives, because we do understand that this is a state level, and overall, like, we will work together with the superintendent and with the work she is also doing in order to fix the foundation formula. But again, I really want to stress that it's not a pleasing time for anyone in Chelsea High School or throughout Chelsea. But moving on from that, it's kind of weird going from a depressing tone to telling you what's going on at Chelsea High School. But at Chelsea High School right now, prom tickets have been starting to sell. Sorry, it's just kind of hard to make that transition. But prom is going to be on May 18th, and a lot of students are actually buying it. We have sold over 150 tickets already, so that's going well. And also there's going to be an upcoming pep rally that's going to be during April, and it's being formed by Student Government, which is a group that has been recently formed at Chelsea High School. But overall, Chelsea High School is doing well as of right now. Thank you.
Manuel, could you tell everybody where you're going to college?
I am going to, it's in Pennsylvania, Bucknell University, with a full tuition scholarship for Posse.
Thank you. Okay, next, unfinished business, there is none. Moving on to new business. Consideration and action to forego school choice for the 2019-2020 school year. Explanation, under MGL 76, Section 12B, every year the district may decide on school choice Dr. Book recommends foregoing school choice in order to have seats for Chelsea students. Can we take a roll call on this?
School choice for the 2019-2020 school year. Ms. Hernandez? Yes. Ms. Alfaro?
Yes.
Ms. Carlisle?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia?
Yes.
Mr. Moronsky?
Yes.
Ms. Velez?
Yes.
Ms. Enriquez?
Yes.
Mr. DePato?
Yes.
That's 8 in the affirmative and 1 absent. The motion carries.
Okay, the next vote is on the budget. I'm going to explain to you, there's 2 of us here that cannot vote on the budget. I am one of them, and Jeanette's the other person. We both have family members that work for the school department. Jeanette will have to leave, and usually I would have to leave too, but since Julio was not here, the chairperson, vice chair, I should say, I'm going to stay and run the meeting, and I will not vote. So, and I will also, before we take a roll call vote, if anybody wants to speak on this, I'll give you a chance to speak. All right?
Mr. Chairman, can I speak before I step out?
Sure.
Unfortunately, I've been in school committee for 9 years. My first year I will not be able to vote. But if I was able to vote, and I want to be transparent, I would have voted yes for this budget. I know a lot of work.
You can't say that.
Oh, well, sorry, I take it
sorry,
back. I'm giving my personal feeling.
You can't say that.
Well, I didn't know, Mr. Chairman.
You have to.
I have to leave?
You cannot,
okay.
Yeah, you have to.
I didn't know I can express now my personal
No,
feelings
you cannot.
on the floor.
You cannot.
Okay, sorry.
Let me just read this and then we can, all right. Consideration and action to accept the recommendation of the school committee, the school superintendent, and approve the following line item amounts from general fund for the 2019-2020 school budget totaling $95,391,784. District administration, $2,584,295. Instruction and assessment, $1,380,032. Special education and pupil personnel services, $14,686,764. Benefits, payroll, adjustments, insurance, $16,982,807. Technology and services, $2,004,128. Facilities management and transportation, $12,921,436. The John Silver Early Learning Center, $6,009,108. William A. Berkowitz Elementary School, $3,537,446. Edgar F. Hooks Elementary School, $3,686,456. George F. Kelly Elementary School, $3,423,727. Frank M. Sokolowski Elementary School, $3,632,806. Joseph A. Brown Middle School, $3,423,507. Morris H. Siegel Clark Avenue Middle School, $4,300,731. Eugene Wright Science and Technology, $3,889,762. Chelsea High School, $10,780,511. Chelsea Opportunity Academy, $759,890. Other educational programs, $1,388,376 for a total of $95,391,784. Explanation: the annual school budget must be approved by the school committee prior to April 1st of each year, pursuant to the city charter, and after a public hearing is held to provide an opportunity to hear public comment on the budget. The school committee has the authority to approve school budgets under state law in the city charter. Okay, before we take a roll call, does anybody want to speak on the budget? Rosemary.
Tonight is a very hard night for the members of the Chelsea School Committee. When I was sworn in, I swore in that I would be here for the students, the teachers, and the administrators. For the past 20 years, I think I've been very fair, and I have done what I was supposed to do, what's right for all of you. I want to thank the city manager, and I want to thank the members of the Chelsea City Council for coming up with the funding
they could come up with in the city of Chelsea. I live here in Chelsea, and I know my taxes went up to educate the children in the city of Chelsea. That's one thing I have never complained about when the taxes go up, if it's going towards education. The problem is with the state. And if people don't realize that the state is not doing the right thing for our students and our teachers, we have to send them a message that we are not happy with the funding that is coming into our community. Why should the students who live here suffer for the students who have to leave? Because, like Mary said, maybe it's the high rent. Maybe there's other reasons they have to leave. But that's their personal problems. My situation is that I am here for all those students. And I am so proud that we have Manuel up here. He is one of the students that I am so happy that I represent, that he's going on to college. He got the education here in the city of Chelsea. That's what we're here for. If we believe in one thing and we don't believe in another thing, that's why we live here in America. We have the right to vote to what we feel. Tonight's vote is coming from my heart. And I want to wish everybody the best, and thank you for sticking it out with the city of Chelsea. And there's a lot of teachers out there I've known for many years. I appreciate all you have done, but the message is going to be sent to the state. They're the people that we have to advocate. And that's what I have been doing for the last year and a half. I have done my best to talk to the senators and the representatives. One night I was out with the big cheese up there at the State House. And I says to him, now listen, Chuck, I'm from the city of Chelsea, and the funding is not going the right way I want it to go. And he said to me, Rosemary, every time you see me, you tell me about the education, the money that is needed. But they're not listening enough. So I don't know what it's going to take, but when I vote tonight, it's going to be from my heart. Thank you all for listening to me.
Anybody? Hold it. Anna?
Rosemary said everything that I think all of us feel up here. The votes that we make are very hard. We're not doing them. No vote is easy. This budget, this is what we dread every year. This decision that we have to make it for the best of the entire school system, not for anyone in particular, and it's not voting for one against another. We're here for the kids. That's the reason we're all up here. That's the reason we all went into office. And sometimes we make decisions that are really tough to make. And like Rosemary said, we have to do something because the money's not coming in. And there's not much that can be done by anybody here in Chelsea. There's not much more than that can be done. Everybody's pulling. Mary's done everything that she can. The city manager's done everything he can. We can't find money where there is not money to be found. It's just like doing the budget at home. The state has to come up and dish out some more money to us because our kids need it. Our kids deserve it, as you can see. And we're here for every single one of the kids that are in school, that want to learn, that want to advance, that want to get somewhere. And that's why we're up here. So as hard as some of the votes are that we have to make, please don't take them personally, and please don't think that we're doing it without thinking about the students or without thinking. We rack our heads and we get headaches over some of these decisions that we have to make. Thank you.
Mr. DePato?
Yes, I had an opportunity to look at the FY 2020 budget development, the proposed budget plan, and in it, I was able to see the last 4 years since 2017. That year, we laid off 7 teachers. In 2018, we laid off 20 teachers. In 2019, we laid off 10 teachers. In 2020, we're projecting 10 more teachers. That's 47 teachers and over 25 paras. When is it going to stop? We know there's an issue with the state in the formula. We know that. For me, I can't vote for this budget. That means that I support the superintendent, what she's doing. I don't support these cuts. These people took a job in Chelsea hoping that they would last there, and it maybe lasted a year or so. Every year it's the same old, same old. Last year I was going to vote against the budget, and someone at the last moment said something to me. And I didn't want to be a party pooper or a restrictionist. I didn't want to be one of those people that is against everything, because I'm not. I believe what I say, and I say what I believe. That's the truth. But in the meantime, they're going to take it was recommended they take $759,000 out of the general fund for the Chelsea Opportunity Academy, which is really a dropout prevention program. That's all it is, with a fancy name. Do these taxpayers of Chelsea want $759,000 taken out of the general fund? I asked questions about this when there was a presentation made here, and they told me we're getting a grant, a bar grant for $750,000, and we don't have to worry about any money. Me, I asked as many questions as I could, but I didn't think the second year of the grant is going to cost the Chelsea people $760,000. That's not right. Put one over on us. That's what I think. So I'm upset. I'm very upset. I care for all the kids. I've been working with kids all my life. And it's hard for me to say I'm going to vote against the budget, but I have to. 47 teachers and over 20 parents in 4 years. What's it going to be next year? We're going to add another 10 or 15. We're probably going to be short another $2 million. So I will vote no. I'm voting no because if I vote yes, it means that I support the superintendent and her cuts or recommendations, and I don't. Thank you.
Anybody want to speak? Kelly?
Take a moment to thank everyone here. I see the same faces from last week, the week before, so thank you for being here, and thank you for your patience and your continued advocacy, because without you, this work wouldn't be here. It's not easy, as you can tell, lots of feelings, lots of emotions, and we will vote based on what we think is best.
Okay, can we have a roll call vote, please? I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
Sorry. Thank you all for coming tonight. Probably I'm the person the quiet person here from the school committee members. And when I hear that this budget is presented and everything that we had heard about how this budget is going to balance what is important in the school system, it's not to think about only, I don't think that I'm going to be doing this because of you. So I know that Mary is the superintendent, and she's the one that oversees what's going on in the school. We as a school committee members, we support, we help the superintendent in order that everything that is going on in the school goes well. About this budget, I know that it's really, I don't want to be like a repetition. That's the reason that sometimes I don't say anything, because whatever I'm going to say is already expressed. So then I don't want to be like open my mouth just for say something, because it does not me. But I just want to make sure that you know that this is something that no matter what, it is for the best interest of the students. I know that the teachers are the support system for the students, but the way that I was presenting the budget, because of the low enrollment and because of the situation, the housing situation that we are having here in Chelsea, we put in families like that's the reason that families are moving out. It's not because the Chelsea is not a good system. It's because of the system that is going on in terms of everything is going up. So families are moving out, and because of this youth that has to be supporting the family, I really support the new program that is running from Mr. Ron, because this is a need in the community. If we are here because we care about what's going on in the community, there is a need for the student, because this is an immigrant population. We are a diverse community. And then if there are immigrants in the community, the majority of the students in the community are immigrants, are people that are coming with limited education. So coming from their country that is limited education, coming with a lack of language, that's something that really put a barrier for the student to improve in the education. And I'm really glad that we had this program for these students that are not able to succeed, because it's helping them a little bit more. So I don't want to, like, if whatever decision I make, I don't want to like take it like personal, because I know that it's going to affect many students, teachers, but it's for the best interest of the whole community, this whole school system. So I appreciate it, and I thank you that you took the time to be here, because this is something that is showing that we really care. We really care about what's going on in the community. We don't care about us. We care about what is going on with our students. We care about what's going on with the families in the community. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yep, Yasina?
Said it, like, for us in the community, it's really a hard decision. As a matter of fact, in my other hat, I'm an activist. And we were on March 22nd, full of youth in the State House. Mary testified, waited long hours inside, waiting to only speak, that some of us were kicked out. We were like massive, like I was at the Mass Teacher Association, all of the teachers' unions were there, everybody from schools, not only Chelsea, is in a deficit. So it is hard. We are sort of managing a money that is being allocated by the city council to us. So it is hard. So we have to use that money for the best distribution to make miracles, to continue to educate our kids. And we do appreciate that every teacher that comes to Chelsea that are caring for our students. And for you students, we are seeing you as the future teachers, and you can see it on these chairs too. Who knows? Maybe next year, we can do everything. It's possible, but we have to work together. I know it is frustrating, and I know that decisions are not easy, but are responsible decisions that we have to make in order to continue to succeed, in order to carry the values and the mission of education for the Chelsea schools. So any decision that I make tonight, I just have to say that is with the conscience that is the best for our community and is the best for our students. Gracias.
Okay, everybody got a chance to speak. We're going to take a roll call.
On the motion to approve the 2019-2020 school budget totaling $95,391,784. Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
Ms. Alfaro?
Yes.
Ms. Carlisle?
No.
Ms. Garcia?
Yes.
Ms. Enriquez?
Yes.
Mr. DePato?
No.
That's 4 in the affirmative, 2 no. The motion carries.
Budget has been approved. Okay. Jeanette, you can come back in if you hear me.
Or do you want me to save it to the end?
Yeah, save it to the end.
Great.
Because we got to vote on other
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Thank you. Okay, next, consideration and action to approve the superintendent job description. Explanation, an updated job description for superintendent of Chelsea Schools as the school committee begins the search processing this spring. A vote to approve the job description is warranted. Roll call vote?
Approve the superintendent job description. Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
Ms. Alfaro?
Yes.
Ms. Carlisle?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia?
Yes.
Mr. Moronsky?
Yes.
Ms. Velez?
Yes.
Ms. Enriquez?
Yes.
Mr. DePato?
Yes.
That's 8 in the affirmative and 1 absent. The motion carries.
Okay, next, consideration and action to approve the updated non-bargaining benefit package. Explanation, the non-bargaining benefit policy, which is the benefit package for all our exempt employees, had not been updated since 2002. In an effort to promote equality for our exempt employees with that of our employees who fall under collective bargaining agreements, the benefits policy has been updated. The document shows changes and updates in red. The new non-bargaining benefit policy will go into effect on July 1st, 2019. Take a roll call.
On the motion to approve the updated non-bargaining benefits package, Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
Ms. Alfaro?
Yes.
Ms. Carlisle?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia?
Yes.
Mr. Moronsky?
Yes.
Ms. Velez?
Yes.
Ms. Enriquez?
Yes.
Mr. DePato?
Yes.
That's 8 in the affirmative and 1 absent. The motion carries.
Next, Ms. Alfaro Alvarez, Chairperson of the Curriculum and Instructional Subcommittee, moves to accept the Ready Classroom for the grade 5 opened up for grade 6 through 8 and a Ready Diagnostic and Instruction for grade 5 through 8 as a middle school's adopted math textbooks. Explanation, the middle school math department across the 3 schools has been piloting several math programs. The combination of Ready Classroom, Open Up, and iReady Diagnostic and Instruction has been recommended by the teaching staff as being most effective for our students, as well as providing strong supports for teachers. For more detail, please see attached proposal presented to the Curriculum Instructional Subcommittee on March 14th. The funding for the program will come from the district textbook and technology accounts and has already been planned for. Roll call.
On the motion to accept the Ready Classroom for grade 5, Open Up for grades 6 through 8, and iReady Diagnostic and Instruction for grades 5 through 8 as the middle school's adopted math textbooks. Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
Ms. Alfaro?
Yes.
Ms. Carlisle?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia?
Yes.
Mr. Moronsky?
Yes.
Ms. Velez?
Yes.
Ms. Enriquez?
Yes.
Mr. DePato?
Yes.
That's 8 in the affirmative and 1 absent. The motion carries.
Next, consideration and action to accept the recommendation of the superintendent to approve a field trip to the International Community High School in New York for 12 students and 3 teachers on May 18th through 19th, 2019. Explanation, high school and middle school REACH students will be participating in the Andover Bread Loaf Writing Conference titled Write the Power. Activism through art and literacy, and hosted by Grace Beniquez and the students of the International Community High School in Bronx, New York. The trip is part of the REACH program's Literacy Through Hip Hop program, which aims to foster and spark the artistic, creative, and social development of its participants. Out-of-state field trips must be approved by the school committee. Roll call.
On the motion to approve a field trip to the International Community High School in New York for 12 students and 3 teachers on May 18 through 19, 2019. Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
Ms. Alfaro?
Yes.
Ms. Carlisle?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia?
Yes.
Mr. Moronsky?
Yes.
Ms. Velez?
Yes.
Ms. Enriquez?
Yes.
Mr. DePato?
Yes.
That's 8 in the affirmative and 1 absent. The motion carries.
Okay. Next, communications. We don't have any, so I'm going to let, if anybody wants to make an announcement, go ahead, Ms. Kelly.
To Ron Schmidt and all the teachers and staff members that support the Chelsea Opportunity Academy, thank you for not giving up on those 60 students. I don't care how much we have to pay. Those 60 students deserve every chance they get and every dollar that we have to give them, because we are a community that does not give up on anyone. So thank you.
Anybody else, Mr. DePato?
Yes, I want to take this opportunity to thank former school committee Julio Hernandez for a tremendous job on this school board while he was serving. He was articulate, he did his homework, he was a very valuable asset. He attended all the committees, all the meetings, and you can always count on him. Thank you, and I wish him nothing but the best in the future.
Anybody else want to?
Nope.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Meeting is over.